This video isn't going to be about the obvious habits that ruin lives over a long enough period of time, such as video games, social media, junk food, not going to the gym, etc., etc. Though if those are affecting you negatively, stop it. But rather about the ones that are about the bigger picture, that as a man, even past the age of 25, will destroy the quality of your life. These three habits tend to take away our power, make us weak. Some of us even fall victim to depression or quiet suffering because of them. I'm 26 and I find myself fighting against these notions on the daily. But once you do gain some control and build over these three habits, you'll find your days feeling much less suppressed by life overwhelming you. So let's dive right in. The first thing, especially if you are a man between the ages of 18 and 25, that's going to destroy the quality of your life is not having a North Star. All of us know someone who seems to be constantly asking themselves or the people around them, what do I do with my life? Someone that seems so put together on the outside, but once you get to know them even just a little bit, they're completely chaotic on the inside. That someone might also be you. And it's because you don't have a vision or a purpose for yourself to commit to. Now, that doesn't mean you have to come up with a wild image for yourself in 10 years where you are a multi-millionaire, have 13 supercars, houses in different locations, etc., etc., unless that's what you actually want. But it is intelligent to list out what your ideal future would look like, because then your actions and your decisions from this point onwards will start to be in line with that 10-year vision that you have. By acting from that premise, you're going to add another degree of control into your life, and you're going to develop a deeper confidence behind the why in your day-to-day. You'll have narrowed down the question of what do I do with my life into a long-term goal that you can specialize in. And most importantly, as you go further towards that North Star, it might change as you come to learn more and more about yourself. But that's okay, because you'll always have a reason to keep moving forward. However, not all of us have enough experience with ourselves or that natural instinct of knowing exactly what we want to think in a 10-year time frame. So instead, think of a vision for yourself within the next 3 to 6 months. Your North Star at the moment can be something as simple as building a physique for yourself. So going to the gym 5 days a week for the next 6 months. Or maybe you're someone who wants to be constantly learning. So for the next 3 months, you commit yourself to reading a relevant book every week. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The point is, you get to decide. And as you become familiar with setting these long-term visions for yourself and then accomplishing them again and again and again, you're going to be able to look into the future with more and more certainty, naturally taking the steps towards elevating the quality of your life and away from destroying it. This next one is the one most people have difficulty with. You don't make room for discomfort in your life. In other words, you don't voluntarily face challenges in your life that are going to force you out of your comfort zone. Let's take a second to think about this. How could you ever truly feel good about yourself if you haven't overcome something that requires you to be better than you were before? How could you make any real progress towards that North Star if you haven't faced any obstacles that you are completely unfamiliar with? Everything that you want the most, the better versions of yourself, those ideal futures that you envision yourself in, are on the other side of discomfort, because acquiring those requires deep and real change. And what else in your life is going to force that much change, that much growth, more than doing the challenges, the situations, the obstacles that scare you? That makes sense, right? Quick example, when you're lifting weights, you're going to build the most muscle on the last 3 reps where you're struggling in pain, rather than the first 3 reps where it feels like a breeze. And it's those last 3 reps that tend to frighten you the most too, because you know they're going to hurt. By the way, this example doesn't just apply to the gym, but it translates to any other endeavor that you have in your life. But the reason this destroys so many young men in particular is because as you go through life with minimal exposure to discomfort, you're reinforcing a weak mind. Your mind becomes your worst enemy instead of your greatest ally, because you haven't strengthened your ability to handle stress. Now, every time you come under pressure, you're going to fall victim to the circumstances of your situation. And by extension, your confidence, your ability to focus, your mental endurance, so forth and so on, tap into a harsh decline. So force yourself to do the things that scare you, or at the very least, the things that you think you wouldn't do. The easiest way of getting used to this process on a daily level is by doing something outside of your routine. For example, taking cold showers every morning. For others, it might be going to the gym 5 a.m. first thing in the morning. And for a select few, it might be initiating conversation with random strangers in public. Maybe it's a combination of all of them. But the more you make yourself uncomfortable and the more you overcome it, the more positive momentum your life will continue to carry forward. The point being, your comfort zone has the absolute potential to destroy your mental fortitude, but your discomfort zone just as much has the potential to absolutely build it. The last habit is that you don't let yourself be aggressive about the progress and the changes that you want to make. I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time you tried to make a positive change in your life? Maybe even something as simple as drinking a full glass of water every morning, and consciously made it last for more than 3 days. How many times have you or your friends told each other that you're going to do something, but then continued to be mediocre instead? You probably don't even feel bad about it, or at the very least, not bad enough. How young men behave about their aspirations, about their commitments, is the cornerstone for how they perceive themselves. You can have a vision for yourself, maybe every so often put yourself in discomfort, but if you can't hold yourself accountable, if you can't build way more consistency than you would be inconsistent, nothing you do matters. The truth is, why would it? You don't even have enough self-respect for yourself to be better than who you are currently. And it shows. You don't have the awareness to realize that it's not okay to stay who you are, to stagnate. You can't even truly get angry at yourself for not upholding higher standards. And all of that on a subconscious level is going to destroy how you and others perceive yourself, because you have continually proven to yourself that you cannot trust yourself. I'm saying all of this harshly and with a lot more intent, because it is how well you are able to harness this specific trait that's going to decide the degree to which you can raise your quality of life. And I want you to deeply understand that. This could be another whole video, but we've been taught on a societal level to suppress our aggression. However, for young men, that aggression is vital, and when wielded correctly, it will become an absolute force for us to conquer our goals and to hold ourselves accountable for long periods of time. Tap into that. Imagine where you would be, where you could be, if you violently adhere to even a fifth of the potential you see for yourself. Because it's that aggression, that raging force when laser focused on a mission, that's going to drag your better futures into the present, that's going to expect you to constantly evolve and accomplish your goals. Lean into that. So if you got this far, I honestly think you know what you have to do, and I hope this video helped you make a permanent change for the better starting right now. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you. And to those of us that look to take absolute control over our lives, it's time to skyrocket.